Just because we're good people doesn't mean we won't kill you. By far, one of the greatest quotes of this episode and of season 5 so far. Always loved Rick doing that eye fuck to the camera. That look, that nod that he always does. Anyway, welcome, The Walking Dead, season 5, episode 11, titled The Distance. The Distance. Yeah, do it like that. The Distance. Anyway, yeah. What's going on, Walker Nation? I'll call you guys that, the Walker Nation. Let's talk about it, baby. The Distance should take me less than a minute. This is a spoiler review. It should take me less than a minute just to recap the episode, tell you my opinions, pros to cons, and the final score at the end. And, let's get into it, guys. Holy crap. What happened this episode? Okay, let's get into this. First off, Aaron, from we saw last week, also Aaron's gay. He has a boyfriend named Eric. I should just point that out. So, finally they add something different into this, show that could have people talking. So that's cool. We have Aaron. Aaron's a cool character so far. He reminds me of Mark Ellis from the Schmoesville. Schmoes know. I don't know why, but Mark Ellis and that face and the way they talk really reminds me. It reminds me of Topher Grace also for some reason. But Aaron, he explains to Rick and everything like, I live in this community. All of you can come. I've been watching you, and you guys don't seem like murderers, basically. So Rick ends up hitting him, just walks up to him and hits him right with the right hook. He doesn't believe him, basically. So, by the way, applesauce. I just love that. He's like, my mama, she tried to feed me applesauce. I hate it, and just ends up eating it because Rick is forcing him to. The group kind of diverges and they go their separate ways to see if Aaron was really telling the truth, and they find SpaghettiOs and food, and basically they make a thing where Rick's gonna end up believing Aaron, and they're going to go to the Alexandria safe zone. So they're gonna go, he was supposed to go on, I don't know roads, but road 16 or 16th Interstate, whatever, but he's like, we're gonna go to 23rd. And he's like, but we cleared out 16th. Why don't you we're going 23rd. Basically like that. So what happens when Rick goes to 23rd? A bunch of zombies are on the road, a herd, and out of nowhere, just what Walking Dead does, man. Zombies just, whoop, they teleport right in front of you. The Glenn's just like, oh, zombie, and totally, zombies are literally exploding on the car, and I love how the flash headlights are just red, like everything's just red, like it's a red light everywhere. Inside is red. That was beautifully filmed, by the way. So Glenn and Aaron kind of separate from Rick and Michonne, and they're fighting, beside each other. And I love how Rick shoots a flare into a zombie. That was one of the most badass moments ever in Walking Dead history, I'll just say right there. So they meet up with Daryl and Carol and Abraham, meet up with all them, Judith, Carl. They meet up with them in the RV around this alleyway, and Aaron reunites with his BF, Eric. And Rick kind of steps in the way a minute, he's like, if we're gonna stay here tonight, you're gonna sleep over there. And he's like, the only way you could stop me from being with Eric is if you shoot me. And basically, Rick's very rude in a way, man, because Eric was like, hi, he's like, hi, I'm Eric, and Rick's like, Rick. Just like that. So it's just like, this is beard. I can't stop looking at Rick's beard. Am I the only one who just can't stop focusing on his beard? I don't know why. Anyway, at the end, we see Washington, D.C. in the distance. We see it in the distance, and basically they arrive to the Alexandria safe zone. Remember, the episode's gonna end with them going to the Alexandria safe zone. No, episode 11 ends with them going to the Alexandria safe zone. They're there. I think that's the Alexandria safe zone. Is that? Anyway, they arrive, and basically what they do is Rick hears kids and laughter and family, and he gets out and he gets Judith, and Judith's kind of in the back, and she's like all on her knees and getting up, and she's like moving around, and I was like, whoa, no one's back there with her. She's just like kind of there. I was thinking, what happens if zombies are on the road again and, you know, she's not secure? Just saying. And basically, yeah, it ends like that. They're in front of the Alexandria safe zone. So, overall, what did I think about The Walking Dead, The Distance? I'll just get with my cons out of the way real quick, guys. As much as I like the zombie kills and everything, the way they perform it and the choreography, I've noticed that this season, the effects, I hate to say this, and it doesn't ruin the show for me, but I hate to say that they really have downgraded on the effects of killing the zombies. Like, you could tell it's fake when they stab them in the head, and it's kind of like the fake blood type of feeling. And they've been doing it for a while, but I'm just saying it's really starting to I'm noticing it more in the effects, the way they kill them, and notice that they can't all make it look realistic. But the thing is that it's noticeable a lot more. So I'm kind of just like, oh, it's computerized, it's fake. Okay, hey, Ramiro could have done better. You know, just kind of that type of feeling. This was a slow episode, but mind you, last week was super slow. This wasn't that bad, but there were moments where it was kind of like, you know, last week we were thinking, oh, Aaron's here. We know he's a good guy so far from the comics and everything. Maybe they won't change it up. It's going to be good. You know, they're going to, you know, you thought it was going to go differently than what actually happened. And also, I don't like the ending. Now, I get the ending. I get the point of it. But I just feel, mind you, it sounds stupid that I'm saying this, but it's very cliched. You know what I mean? Just, they're in front of the safe zone. That's it. There's the ending of an episode. This, oh my gosh. Why couldn't... There could have been scenes you could have cut out, and they could have entered the safe zone, and at least Rick could have shaved. But, no, they don't do that. So, I'm not a huge fan of the ending, so it's kind of like, I don't like the ending of this episode. But the pros, man, let me get to it. The action in this episode makes up for last week with the tornado, the Walker-nado. Also, that flare, the zombies also, and the flare, very perfectly done, and the effects for that wise of the explosion of the natural practical car going to them. Aaron's a cool character, and Eric, all them. I feel like Eric's not going to make it, I'm just saying, because mostly they like to kill off characters that are not as huge to Rick and them. Also, the driving in the red light was really cool effect, and the set pieces on where we went in this episode really was interesting. So overall, I'm going to give this Walking Dead episode a solid B. I gave last week a B-. This is a B. I mean, it's not a great episode. And almost in a way, I feel like the writing's getting a little downplayed, because it's getting a little washed out, the writing, with the way the zombies just teleport right in front of Glenn. And I felt like we've done that before. I mean, Glenn's still a better driver than, what's her name? Law. What's Rick's wife's name? Still a better driver than, I forgot her name, whatever her name is. Laurel? I want to say Laurel. I'm thinking about Arrow. Anyway, who gives his wife, Rick's wife. Still a better driver than Lauren, I think. Whatever. I don't know. But still better driver than her. So, overall, I'm going to give it a solid B. And that's it, man. I hope next week will be a little bit more better, since they're in the safe zone now. So, but still, it's an okay episode, this episode. And it was enjoyable. It had its slow parts. It had the parts where you were like, I'm not feeling it, that beat. But though Michonne did ask the questions to Aaron. She's like, did you ask the questions? No. How many walkers have you killed? Basically like that. So, thank you guys so much. See you next week for the episode titled Remember. That's what it's called. May Spock be with you always.